second.
Well, actually, 1 second.
Oh.
It's okay. Hey yo, good evening. Good evening, Foxtrots. It is now 8 in the evening, both in the Philippines and Malaysia.
Yeah.
Truly
Hello.
Asia. Yes. So yes, welcome Foxtrots and of course UnagiAgi, my guest, our guest for today, for Shrine Talk episode 21. And we are going to be talking about newcomers in fighting games. Of course, I picked fighting games as a specific topic because not just because I play fighting games, but fighting games has definitely been one of the genres that have been slowly making a comeback in the recent years. Because for a good period of like about 4 to 5 years before, only one fighting game I would say has been making a lot of headlines, and yes, I am talking about Tekken 7. But with the release of Guilty Gear Strive, there has been a lot of buzz surrounding it. Good job, Emre. That sound alert's gonna take a while. Alright. So yeah, you missed. I wouldn't say you missed, but anyhow.
Hi.
Hi. So yes, ever since Guilty Gear Strive released, there has been a huge buzz surrounding the genre of fighting games, which in my opinion, one of the best genres of games to get into, but also one of the hardest to get into. Some might say, what? Fighting first-person shooters or shooters in general is not the hardest? In my opinion, no, because shooters recently have become a lot more user-friendly. They have not... Yep. You can get away with, quote-unquote, not being good at aiming. There are ways to circumvent that. And you will learn really fast how to improve your aim. Fighting games, though, very, very different story altogether.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
Yes. Alright, but before we continue with the talk proper, I'd like to give a quick rundown of what the goal for the talk today will be. So, the goal is to get first-hand experience from a newcomer, what it's like to play fighting games. And yes, that newcomer is indeed UnagiAgi. And just for context, we are talking about modern fighting games. Fighting games in the recent decade has been very different from fighting games in the 80s, the 90s, even 2000s. Of course, our other goal or objective for this talk is to try to convince people who are scared or intimidated or confused to try out one of the best genres of video games. And lastly, to give advice on how to get into fighting games and let them know what they are getting into. Alright. But of course, as is tradition in Shrine Talk, I want my guest to give a formal introduction of herself. Let herself be known to my community. So, Nagi, kindly introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello, chat. Hi. Hello, Foxtrots. Hello, Inaris viewers. Hello, I'm UnagiAgi, a variety streamer / VTuber from Malaysia. I usually do art streams and a lot of Fortnite recently. And also I started to learn how to play fighting games, especially Guilty Gear Strive. Just last week, I think.
Nice.
So yeah. Thanks for having me here, Inari. Hello.
Yes. Okay. Alright, so for the first question for tonight, or for this episode rather, so I'm pretty sure a lot of our mutuals have been wondering, I personally also have been wondering, who or what made you to decide to give fighting games a try?
Okay, So, hmm. Okay, way before I even started streaming, I used to go skip school a lot during middle school. And I would spend most of my time in the arcade. I was still very young at the time, and there was no extra pocket money for me to play a lot of games at the time. So I would just hang around and watch the locals to play games, especially the fighting games and the room racing games.
Yeah, to be fair, fighting games has always been very arcadey in nature.
Yeah,
That is why whenever you watch tournaments, especially local tournaments like Evo, CEO, so many like big tournaments, they are very like you can feel the atmosphere in the air. It's very much like the ones you see in the arcade, just a lot bigger.
Yep.
There's very tense rivalry, but some sportsmanship to be had as well.
And because I hang out there often, and there's this one time, there was this dude who was also one of the regulars that plays Taken a lot. And he says, "Oh, okay, you were a regular here, right? You wanna try out this? You can just use my token here."
Wow,
And
very
so I
generous.
just kind of started playing Tekken over there. And plus, I was the youngest one over there. So the arcade owner would let me play games for free.
Well, I mean, it before any of you get like say, well, that's sus. No, think about it this way: would you rather have an underage kid or whatnot be in the streets alone or inside an arcade? In my opinion, it'd be a lot safer if they were in an arcade where there are adults and authorities to watch over them.
Yep.
Rather than them like just roaming around in the streets. I think that was a good decision by the owner.
And I used to play, I think it was Tekken 5 or 6.
Damn, one of the best ones. Tekken 5 was one of my favorite Tekkens.
Yeah, and I would play as Jin and Alisa.
I can teach you how to play both.
Oh, really?
Yes, I can teach you how to play both.
Hey.
Yo.
Hey you. And at that time I would just smash buttons.
Of course.
And try to beat out the CPU. And it felt really nice because of the rhythm and the punches.
Yeah. Tekken has always been praised for the feel of the game because other than the juggling, because obviously you cannot do that in real life. If people could juggle others in real life, I'd be watching that more than modern day wrestling or mixed martial arts any day.
Absolutely.
I want to see people get juggled in the air for a couple of seconds. The most ultimate form of hacky sack. Human hacky sack. I like to see that. But yeah,
because it's virtual, it's not actual people, It's okay to punch up people in video games.
Yeah. But
and
yeah,
because I was studying cluster school at that time, the homework stress is very bad. So punching people in video game really helped release my stress at that time.
Nice. See?
Yeah.
You can suck on that. People who say that video games make people violent, wrong. Video games help people get rid of their violent tendencies.
Yeah, agree. And my goal wasn't try to win against anyone,
It's just that
I was
fun,
just
right?
trying to just have fun, try to punch some virtual people in the game.
Fair enough. But yeah, like Tekken has always been praised for being very grounded in its gameplay. Because you look at games back then like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, KOF. There's a lot of jumping, there's a lot of air dashing, there's a lot of super jumps, but Tekken not really. Now I know it's a stretch, but to say that Tekken is one of the more realistic fighting games, I think is not really not really an exaggeration in my opinion. Like, I think the stuff you do in Tekken are a lot more doable than other stuff you see in other fighting games, and that's not necessarily like a bad thing. It's kind of cool to do characters on screen do shit that you know that's impossible IRL. I mean, look at Ryu's Tatsumaki Senpukyaku. I'm pretty sure no one can do that IRL, not with some support.
Hadouken?
Oh yeah, Hadouken, yeah, no one can do that. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's very flashy. It looks cool.
But it is also cool watching Tekken characters do stuff and you're like, that's actually doable. I may not be able to put electric I may not be able to surge electric through my right arm, but I can do that. When God Fist that the Mishimas do that, I can do that. I can wave IRL. I can do that.
Yeah.
Yes. So for Unagi, it was basically her very generous arcade that she went to after school that introduced her to fighting games in general.
Yep.
Cool. Well, for me, I've told this story before, but for brevity's sake, I'm gonna mention it again. It's brother Inari that introduced me to fighting games. And this was with Tekken 3 for the PlayStation. Yep.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Brother Inari and his friends played a lot of Tekken. They were very competitive with that. And he needed someone to play regularly that wasn't an AI or CPU. He needed someone that was more, an actual player. But thing is, like, my parents were very conservative at the time, so they didn't really allow any of his friends to come over or sleep over and hang out and whatnot. Yep. So his only solution was to introduce me to fighting games. At the time, I was already into video games in general, so I think he was confident, like, okay, maybe Inari will enjoy fighting games. So he introduced me to Tekken 3, and it was the best and worst decision he's made his entire life regarding video games, because after I picked up Tekken 3, whenever I got home, I'm like, okay, I'll practice a bit of Tekken 3. He never beat me ever again.
You just beat his ass.
I just beat his ass. Yes.
Yeah.
And since then, I have been very involved in a lot of fighting games.
Oh, nice.
But to make it a lot clearer, though, how about recently? What made you try fighting games very recently? Because a lot of people that I know, like for example, Blue, Chaos, they have been playing fighting games for years now, for a long time. So it's very refreshing and very nice to see someone play modern fighting games. And I'm curious, what made you decide to give it a try now? Yeah.
Okay, so continue with the story just now. So I eventually stopped skipping school because people grow up, and I stopped hanging out at the arcade. So fast forward, I started streaming and meeting you guys.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you guys play a lot of fighting games, and when we also play a lot of Fortnite. We talk about fighting games in Fortnite as well. A lot of times. And when we were playing Fortnite together, you guys would say things like, okay, hey, Unagi, when are you gonna join us? It's time! Things like that.
To be fair, I think it was more on Chaos and Chica who did that.
Yeah.
Because, personally, I think as much as I want to invite people to play fighting games, it's not easy. Because fighting games, by design, are very arcadey. It's not something you buy or play in one long sitting.
Yeah.
And they still have a hefty price tag. You look at Street Fighter when it released, Tekken 7 when it released, even now when it's not on sale. It's hella expensive. Guilty Gear Strive, even with the new package with the season 1 characters
still
and
very
everything,
expensive.
it's still very expensive. KOF 15 is also very expensive.
Yes, it
DNF
costs a lot
Duel,
of money.
DNF Duel, the only reason why people sort of give it a pass for being so pricey is because the makers of Guilty Gear were behind the development of that game, so
Arc
they know what
system
they're
works.
yeah, ArcSys. They made they developed that, so yeah, they do deserve they earned that price tag because yeah, it's really like
Very well made.
well made. It's well made. Even though people call it a Kuso game, which is not wrong, not wrong. It's a very shitty fighting game, but like that's part of its identity because it's so shitty and stupid. It is so fun. It is absolutely the most fun I've had in a 2D fighting game to date, I would say.
Was it because of the bug or how bad is the game?
No, no, no.
Just
It's not
wondering.
really the bugs or the infinites that
Uh-huh.
make it a stupid game. It's more of the
Mechanics?
intrinsic gameplay features that it has.
Ah.
Like every character has a really strong button. They have a really strong move, and it's so strong. But here's the thing: there's not just one or few characters that have it. Everyone has it. You look at other fighting games like Tekken and Guilty Gear Strive. Like more importantly for you, Guilty Gear Strive. Everyone in that game is relatively strong, but there are some characters that stand out so much because they are so strong. Among them is Baiken, Nagoriyuki. I would say Kai, yes, but better than Kai, Soul. Soul bad guy is so strong.
Oh really?
Yes, but you see, that's a select few. That's just a select few. Everyone else, not really, in my opinion, weak. But compared to the names I just mentioned, oh my god, like, the difference is big. But in DNF Duel,
It's balanced?
it's everyone is OP.
Oh.
Get it? Like,
Okay, I see.
can
see.
confidently say, yeah, Nagoriyuki is OP. Yeah, to some extent, Baiken, Soul Bad Guy, Kai Kisk is OP, to some extent. But in DNF Duel, everyone is OP and borderline busted, so it's kinda even. But it's still problematic, but I'm having fun with it. Because everyone is quote-unquote busted and OP, no one is really broken, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It sounds fun, really fun.
It is fun.
And whenever you guys okay, especially Chaos or Shika tells me to go to play fighting games, I would just dismiss the idea of getting into fighting games.
Yeah, because
Because,
it's
you
not
know,
easy to get into.
I struggle at gaming in general, let alone playing fighting games, which is, as you mentioned, one of the hardest genres of games.
Yeah, fighting games is definitely one of the hardest to get into.
Yeah, and I play Smash Bros. And I know Smash Bros. For some people is not really a fighting game, but it's like the only closest thing to a fighting game among the games I play regularly, and I'm still not good at it.
Well, to be fair, it's the
Yeah.
easiest quote-unquote fighting game to convince someone to play. But it's not
Yeah,
the easiest
yeah.
to get your hands on because one, you need a Nintendo Switch. Number two, you need a Nintendo Switch online subscription to play with friends, so that's a big fucking minus. No, thank you. But I did play a lot of Smash before. Not competitively, but I played it competently. I will say that much.
It's really fun to play with friends though.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
and then one day when I was playing Fortnite with Shika in Chaos, you weren't there. Guilty Gear Strive was on
On
sale.
sale.
Yeah, and Shika just said, "Oh, 30% off. That's a good deal. Time to find the game." And that's how I really got myself into the world of fighting games.
Oh boy. I see. Alright.
Yeah.
So, what fighting games, other than the ones you are playing now, do you want to try?
Tekken. Tekken 7.
Second. Well, I guess the eel has to swim back to where they started and play the very first game that they
Yeah,
played.
back to my roots.
Back to your roots. Tekken
Yes.
really was your roots. It's not on sale right now, so I'd say no, don't get it. But when you do
Oh, I
get it
already bought it.
on sale,
Yeah, the Steam sale. The
which
summer
version
sale.
did you get?
Tekken 7, the regular one.
Oh, the regular one. Okay,
It
that's
only
fine.
costs like 20 ringgit, which is around $5.
Wow, that's a steal. Good
Yeah,
job.
it's a steal. Yeah.
That's already a lot of characters too, so that's worth it. Without the DLC, Tekken already has a lot of characters, so that's fine. I think, in my opinion, that has always been the strongest point of Tekken. Like, the starting character pool of Tekken has always been very big in comparison to other fighting games. So, yeah. Good deal, good deal.
Yeah, and also seeing you guys having so much fun playing this game reminds me of my middle school days hanging out at the arcade. Yeah.
Can't wait for you to. I can't wait to watch you give it a try and start
Yeah.
practicing and shit.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And the graphic looks really cool, you know?
It is. Tekken has always been cool.
Yeah, and so back in the days when I hang out in the arcade, Tekken 5 and 6 is pretty long time ago. The graphics still stands today. It looks good.
Yeah. It looks good. Tekken 6 in particular looks really good now.
Yeah.
Here before Unagi versus Sheikah first to 10.
Oh my god. Risa.
Don't worry. If you since you said you played Jin, I can teach you how to play Jin and Elisa as well.
Oh, really? Thank
easier,
you.
Elisa easier to use than the two. But if you really want to get underneath Sheikah's skin, you pick Jin.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, if you want to piss him off, pick Jin.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. For me, fighting games other than the ones you're playing now, do you want to try? Okay, that is a tricky question for me because I play a shitload of fighting games. Like, if we're talking modern, I play Tekken, I play Strive, I play KOF, I play Street Fighter 5, even though it wasn't since launch. I played DNF Duel. It's not out yet, but I really want to get my hands on Street Fighter 6. That for sure I really want to get into.
The trailer looks pretty.
It's not just the trailer, Unagi, but you also have to understand that what's blowing me and a lot of people away right now is the amount of attention to small detail that game has. For a fighting game, the amount of details are insane. Because we're not talking about graphics here even. We're talking about just small things that have a big impact. Whenever a character gets hit in Street Fighter 6, they react accordingly to where they get hit. It's very real. It's very realistic how they react to where they get hit.
It's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of effort, yes. And on top of that, you also have the really neat, realistic feature of your character showing visible damage depending on how low your health is when you win the match. Which is really fucking cool. Not many fighting games do that. At least the modern fighting games. They used to do that before, I think. Select few. But modern games, no. Not until Street Fighter 6 at least.
Is it because they really rush to push out their products or what?
Not necessarily. I would say it's because their budget is focused too much on graphics and marketing.
Yeah. I see.
But Capcom is taking their sweet time with Street Fighter. Like they said, tentatively next year. But we're not even 100% sure. And I want Capcom to take their time. Because Street Fighter 6
to delay.
Yes. Again, Shigeru Miyamoto said, a delayed game will eventually be good.
Yeah.
But a bad game on release will always be bad.
Yeah. Cyberpunk.
Yes, Cyberpunk. It's very... I cry whenever I think about it because I'm like, I was so hyped for that game, and I gave it a fair shot. Like, in my honest opinion, if you played that game on PC on release, it's not as bad as people pointed out to be. But I'm not a shill and I'm not a sellout. That game had a lot of problems on launch, and I'm just like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, even Tekken animation is still janky on hit. Oh yes, Tekken animation is still janky on hit. And to be honest, I'm not defending Tekken. But the reason why it's
Isn't
like
that
that is because whenever you get
stylish
hit
choice?
by certain moves, like counter hit or stun moves, it kinda has to be universal. Because there are way too many moves that have special properties when you get hit on counter hit. But in my opinion, some are great, some don't make some are fine and make sense, but more moves don't make any goddamn sense. So yeah, they definitely need to fix that. Or I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it. But we'll see. We'll see when they show us their very first teaser for Tekken 8, because everyone in Tekken has been playing Tekken 7 Season 4 for a long time, yet no word yet on Tekken 8. And because they already packaged Definitive Edition on Steam, there's no more Season 5. We're not even 100% sure if it's Tekken 8 or Tekken Tag 3, we don't know. Because Bandai Namco ain't saying shit, but who knows? Okay.
Yeah, who knows?
So far, are fighting games what you expected them to be or thought them to be?
Oh. Okay. So, as I mentioned before I met you guys, I only know how to mash buttons. I always have this weird mash button, hit and win perception with fighting games.
It works against
Because-
CPUs.
Yeah, because whenever I press a random button, right, stuff just happens. It is that simple. And it is really easy to get flashy moves.
You can also thank Tekken for that, because you cannot mash in a game like Street Fighter or Guilty Gear.
Ah.
You can't.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But Tekken, you can. You can mash all you want. It will work.
That's nice. And then until I realized, after meeting you guys, when you guys are seriously talking about fighting games, okay, I realized, combos, very flashy, very cool, wow, chain combos, very cool, very flashy, nice, jump cancel, what are those? Special combo cancel, and parry, block stun, and the ramen cancel, and
Yes.
yeah, a lot. And also frame data, hitbox.
Oh, hitbox, hurtbox also. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Hurtbox also is a thing.
Yeah. I didn't know there was so much thing. I need to
Safe
know
jump
about
meaty,
fighting
yes,
games.
that is correct.
Yeah.
But that is why I'll put this in chat for for others who are new to fighting games. There is a very nice tool right there, that website. Kappa was the one who mentioned this to you first, I think. It is literally a fighting game glossary that
I'll send this. Yeah.
yeah, that covers a lot of fighting games. I'm just hang on. It covers Smash, Street Fighter, Tekken, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, Melty Blood, Marvel vs. Capcom, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, Soul Calibur, Unist, Virtual Fighter, Dragon Ball Fighters, King of Fighters, Sam Show, Injustice, a lot. A lot of mainstream fighting games. If there are terms that you've never heard, like, I don't know, Mexican uppercut.
And also there's this Korean what?
Korean backdash.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know what that means, but you know that it's a Tekken term, you just click on the Tekken logo, you look for the letter K, and Voila, Korean
Voila.
backlash. Yeah.
It's a very helpful tool.
It's a very helpful tool. Of course, it
Yes.
will not help you. Well, it will kind of help you learn how to do it, but it's mainly for understanding what the term is. So if someone tells you like, "Oh, that is punishable," or if someone tells you that, "Oh, that's a Chicago punish," at least you know what the hell they are talking about. Or if they say like, "Use a Mexican uppercut," like, what the hell's a Mexican uppercut? Okay.
And then not only that, okay, not only the new terms, the new mechanics. Well, they are not new. It's just they are new for me. And there are a lot of things to remember, like okay, how to throw, how to block, when to block and where to block, and when to use this and that button, and
What's
what
an
this
overhead?
button does with the other button, and yeah. And I feel like your muscle memory really plays a big part in playing fighting
but
games.
also do note that muscle memory can work to your advantage and your
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Yes, muscle memory can be a bad thing as well.
Ah, okay.
Because there is a funny thing that I would like to say that is called conditioning.
Conditioning. Ah, okay.
If your opponent conditions you to block low for just enough times, your muscle memory whenever they attack will be instinctively block low. But what if they don't do a low attack? Exactly why muscle memory is both a very good thing and also a bad thing as well. Yep.
And also about the muscle memory, okay, for example, I use a controller with the Nintendo Switch layout before I really use my current Xbox controller, which I got 2 days ago. And I had to relearn everything because of the drastically different layout.
I mean, yeah, because Smash, to my knowledge, other than Grand Blue Versus and the other control scheme for Blaze Blue, those are the very few fighting games that do not have special inputs. They only have simple inputs. There is no DP input, there is no Hadouken motion, there is no pretzel input, no half circles or quarter circles.
Really?
Yeah, Smash is just neutral special, forward special, back special, down special, and up special, right? That's it.
Oh, Smash. Oh, yeah, Smash.
Grand Blue Versus also has that. Yeah, Grand Blue Versus has very simple inputs that you can do.
Okay. Nice. I definitely gonna try out that game after I play Tekken.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And okay, speaking of the muscle memory, and we learn everything because of the layout differences. With new controllers, whenever you try to beat up a new player online, not only you have to react really quickly with the combos you just learned.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to, after a session of labbing, you have to try it in a match, because it's different when you know your opponent's gonna get hit, so you know what to press. But
the execution and the application is very different.
yes,
and
also the pressure when you're low on health and then you're like, you launched someone, you're like, okay, don't drop this combo. Easier said than done. Easier said than done.
Yeah. And I do understand, right? As a beginner, I don't have to really start to memorizing things yet.
No. But
yeah, it's just I feel like doing that would help me more.
Because learning combos of a character will teach you what their general flow or combo pathing is. Like, you'll know, oh, so if I do this move, most combos follow up with this move after that one. It helps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
let's see. As for me, fighting games nowadays for sure has been very has been leaning more now towards accessibility. Like fighting ever since Guilty Gear Strive, a lot of fighting games have been trying to package themselves as something
Beginner
that
friendly?
yes, beginner friendly. You look at Street Fighter 6, very controversial, I would say, or very divisive feature that they said they're gonna launch it with is simple modern inputs. Now here's the thing. You can still do classic inputs. You can still do a DP input, a Hadouken motion, a Tatsu input, etc., etc. That's still there. But for those who want to get into the game but have never done those, they can do that with Smash Bros style inputs. They just do forward, back, up, down, or neutral special. That's it. Now, personally, I am okay with that. Personally. But I can also see how that can be problematic. At least for 2D fighting games. Because there are some moves that require you, they are called charge moves, because you need to hold back or down for about 2 seconds, and then you have to press up or right, up or forward, and then a certain input, a certain button. Now that buffer of 2 seconds before you have to do that move makes that move very balanced in general. We don't know yet how that is going to work in modern inputs.
Modern input?
Yeah. Because theoretically, again, this is just a theory. Theoretically, that means that you can do charge input specials without having to charge. You're just pressing a button.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know how they're gonna implement it, but only time will tell. I'm pretty sure Capcom knows how that it can be problematic, but we'll see. Okay. Okay, next question. This is the penultimate question before we end part 1. So, what is your peripheral for fighting games? Meaning, like, do you use a gamepad, a fight stick, or a hitbox, or etc.?
I'm using an Xbox controller. I guess that's also considered as a fight stick, right?
Gamepad.
Gamepad. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to try on the real fight sticks in the future.
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be easier for me to do the input. Because I find it really hard to move the stick precisely to a certain direction with only my left thumb.
Well, that's fair. But in my opinion, there have been people that prove that you can do difficult inputs like an electric wind god fist in Tekken, regardless if it's a hitbox, a stick, or a gamepad. It's doable. But of course, it's going to feel better or smoother, or should I say more natural with a fight stick. But me personally, I play Tekken with a fight stick, and I play 2D fighters with a gamepad. I know it's kind of weird, but that's just how I've been for a long time, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Okay, last question before we move on to the little short break before part 2. So, do you plan to play with just friends, or do you plan to go solo and try ranking up in ranked matches in your fighting games?
Okay, I want to play with friends so far, but who knows? But I do have a feeling that I can go further than that.
Wow!
Because first of all, I have yet to see a Malaysian VTubers that play fighting games. And I think I could become the best player in Malaysia VTuber community. Wink wonk.
If you believe you can, then you can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my plan so far.
Nice.
We'll see.
Okay. All right. that is the end of part 1. So while we are taking a quick 5-minute break, I'm gonna go through the questions that others wanted us to tackle. And of course, those who are in chat, you are also free. If you have any specific questions that we have not tackled, feel free to ask us in chat.
Ask us anything.
Yes. Okay.
Anything.
So Skull asked a very interesting question
Tweet.
in the Discord. How many fighting games do you play? Okay. I'm just gonna count on my hand. Let's see: Tekken, KOF, Guilty Gear, Street Fighter, DNF Duel. That's 5 games. I play 5 fighting games. Okay. How about you, Unagi?
If you consider Smash as fighting games, okay, Smash.
Yeah, sure.
And then Guilty Gear Stripe and Tekken from a long time ago.
Ah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Elmo asked the question, what makes you want to try fighting games? We already that was the first question of the talk. Okay, Blue has a question. Who's your favorite fighting game streamer? Let me give that streamer a shout out. There you go.
Blue.
That is my favorite fighting game streamer right there.
Our favorite fighting game streamer.
That is my favorite fighting game streamer right there. Not even. I'm not selling out. I'm not selling out. Blue did not pay me for that. Nope. That's from my Kokoro. That is my honest opinion.
Yeah, me too.
By hands down, my favorite fighting game streamer, definitely Blue. Definitely Blue.
Same to me as well. Blue, you're amazing.
I mean, because like I could have easily said like someone like say Max Dude right off the top of my head, but I watch Max Dude videos, but I don't watch him stream. There's just something else about watching Blue stream fighting games that I genuinely like.
Because it's very entertaining.
Because it's very relatable, I would say. Very relatable. Yeah. How about you, Unagi?
Also Blue.
Also
and
Blue.
you. Chaos.
Oh wow.
Chica. Yeah, just and also PKT as well. I learned in her both times.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because like if there's a comparison I will make between Blue and Max Dude, like I've seen a lot of videos of Max Dude like analyze and sometimes criticize fighting games. Like you can see and hear the passion that Maximilian Dude has whenever he analyzes fighting games. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it too whenever Blue streams fighting games. I can see and feel the passion he has for fighting games just while he streams. Now personally, just to give Max Dude a fair shot, I have not watched his streams yet. But I don't know, like I just prefer watching his videos about fighting games more than watching him stream fighting games. But that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Maybe one of these days I will drop by his stream just to see what it's like to watch Max Dude play stream fighting games. But honestly, I'm still confident, hands down, that my favorite fighting game streamer will be Blue, for sure. Okay.
And for me as well, I prefer to watch people struggle at gaming instead of people being pro, being really good at the game, and you don't understand anything.
Oh yeah, that's also another reason why there are some people who don't like watching someone like Shroud when it comes to FPS games. They prefer other streamers because they relate more to those streamers.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with Shroud being good. No, we still need people like Shroud Justin Wong, Daigo, to show us how it is done in the higher echelons of those genre of games. But we also need people who are on our respective levels to show us that what we can do and that we can improve, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay. The next question is from Risa. What is the fastest fighting game you drop? Street Fighter 5 on launch. Street Fighter 5 on launch. I stopped after 30 minutes.
Why though?
Okay. I will try to explain this as simple, as quick as possible. Unagi, whenever you press a button in Guilty Gear Strive, your character almost immediately does the move, right?
Yep.
That wasn't the case in Street Fighter 5 on release.
Ah? What? Ah?
There was a whole 7 frames of delay. And if we are talking about just not even PC frames, because PC frames is like 60 frames, but console usually was stuck at around 30. So if your input delay is 7 out of 30 frames, that is practically 1/4 of a second. That is a noticeable delay. That was one major thing. Number
is
2.
Is this a game design flaw or just technical issues?
No, that's the worst part. I was getting to that. It wasn't a technical issue. It was designed that way.
Ah, why?
You know why? To force people to take risks.
Oh my.
Here's the thing. Do you know why not many people enjoy watching Tekken at a very high level? Because they aren't doing the very risky flashy moves that put people in the air and do juggles. They are doing neutral and footsies game. They're just moving back and forth, checking with a couple of jabs and fast, safe moves. But that is high-level play amongst many fighting games. But when you have 7 frames of delay, your safe check is no longer safe. So every player that played Street Fighter 5 on launch was forced to play very aggressively.
Oh my god.
Now you might ask, Unagi, why would Capcom want that? The reason is because they wanted more Evo Moment 37, also known as the Daigo parry. They wanted more moments like that, and they wanted to give newcomers a better chance at beating the pros. Because, as you said, what did you do when you were in that arcade playing Tekken? You were mashing buttons. Guess what? Mashing buttons on Street Fighter 5 on launch was competitively viable. It was viable.
Oh!
You can get away with mashing buttons.
Okay, so the outcomes are gonna be random. The win con is gonna be random if you are just mashing buttons.
Indeed.
More so
Am I understand this right?
No, more so than that. But here's the thing, Unagi. In Tekken, if I throw a jab, it comes out so fast that the person blocking it can't react to it, so they have to block. The best part is, because it comes out so fast, I can set up the next move. But here's the thing. Because of 7 frames of delay, you are now forced to move 3 moves ahead. You're no longer just going to light medium punch into a Hadoken on confirm. No, you are going to preemptively do that, and you will get punished. And when people get punished, funny thing, it's usually a comeback. That's exactly what Capcom wanted. They wanted more comeback situations. And give me a sec, my dog is barking. Give me 1 minute.
Okay. Anyways, how's chat doing? Oh my god. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hi. Hi Blue. Hi
False
Risa.
alarm.
Okay.
But yeah, that is basically the main reason why I really quit SF Street Fighter 5 within 30 minutes of me playing it. It was the first game I refunded on Steam. It was the first game I refunded on Steam. It was a weird experience. I never refund games on Steam. And
It sounds awful.
it was
I feel
awful.
bad for you. Oh my god.
And here's the thing. The reason why I am excited for Riot's fighting game is because of the design philosophy that the developers said. They themselves said it is not about the newcomers beating the pros. It is about unlocking fun across all levels.
Yeah.
Translation,
Sure.
the veteran will have more or less will have fun roughly the same time that it takes a newcomer to have fun in that game, which is why I'm very excited. It's very, very, very exciting.
It's why I like DNF Duel. It's fun. Oh.
Yep. DNF Duel is hella fun. Well, so freaking fun. Alright, we have another question from Blue, and then we'll move on to part 2. And this is a
Okay.
question directly for you, Unagi. So
Okay.
aside from the current FGs that you have played, the fighting games you have played, which ones have caught your eye recently and would probably want to try?
Ha. Excluding Tekken, I guess. Okay. What fighting?
Oh wait,
games?
1 minute. Let me just wait. My dog's barking again.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Take your time. I'm gonna answer this question. Okay. Blue. I did bought Tekken 7. Okay, but I don't think that because I played Tekken 7 before. Okay. Maybe DNF because you guys say the game is really fun, and I've seen you guys play this game a lot recently. I can give it a try. And also, Skullgirls. I've seen you guys play Skullgirls as well. Yeah, it looks fun, and the character designs are very pretty.
Oh, which
They
game
look
are we
pretty
talking
and
about?
they look simple. I was talking about Skullgirls and DNF.
Oh, good choices.
Yeah. Well, for DNF, I'm probably gonna wait for the sale.
If I were to suggest one of the two to you, I would say DNF Duel.
Okay.
DNF Duel is a lot more user-friendly than Skullgirls.
Okay.
Like, Skullgirls has a very unique design. Great characters, fun characters to play. But when it comes to fighters, it is still complex, I would say. It's still complex. Not DNF
it's
Duel.
Okay. I see.
Yep. You'll enjoy DNF Duel, I think, if you get it. Alright. We're gonna move
Any
on
more
to
questions?
if there are any more questions, you guys can still ask in the middle of the chat. But we'll move on to part 2.
Yep.
Alright. So, Guilty Gear is not one of the easier fighting games to get into. Why did you choose that out of all possible modern fighting games? And when we're talking modern fighting games, I'll just put these on the list of modern fighting games. Tekken 7, KOF 15, Street Fighter 5, Skullgirls. That's it. Yeah. So why did you pick Guilty Gear out of all of that?
Why? Okay, so this game caught my attention because of its aesthetic, the 3D 2D style. And they look very flashy and fast-paced.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Like Guilty
I
Gear
really-
has been known for very eye-popping visuals. Baiken.
Yeah.
Baiken.
And especially the animation, right? That
Yeah.
captures the traditional hand-drawn,
Yes,
the
yes,
limited
yes.
animations.
That's-
Yeah, and
It's a beautiful,
not only
gorgeous
that-
fighting game for sure.
yeah, and they don't have those uncanny valleyness that we seen on the 3D, 2D anime out there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
if
look
there's
more
one,
like hand-drawn animations.
if there's one fighting game that did that, KOF 14. Ugh. They really went uncanny with 3D 2D there. I did not like it. I did not play it, but I just saw the character models. I'm like, oh my god, what a severe downgrade from KOF 13.
And I feel like for Guilty Gear Strive, they really brute forces their 3D models to do 2D things.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
not only that, the cell shading look makes them become one of the best looking games out there. Yeah, and stands out even more from other games.
Fair. Okay, before we move on to the next question, Blue has a question for you. Do you know DOA or Dead or Alive?
Dead or Alive? I heard that name before. I don't know.
Oh boy.
What is it though? What is that?
Looks like we're gonna have to introduce core values to Unagi one of these days. Oh boy. Indeed.
Dead or Alive?
Yup. We'll tell you.
Oh! I've seen this. The volleyball.
I like how you say the volleyball. Clip.
Huh?
Not even the fighting game. Oh my god. That is the perfect reaction. Holy shit.
The beach volleyball, no?
No, Dead or Alive is actually a fighting game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I did not expect that reaction. I thought Unagi was gonna say, "Oh, the booba physics, the bouncing booba." No, she said the volleyball. I'm like, oh my god, that was way out of far left field, and I love it. Oh my god. See, guys, this is why I'm glad the topic is newcomers in fighting games. A newcomer will not see DOA as a fighting game. They'll see it as a volleyball game. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing.
The hot girls playing beach volleyball with their boing breast physics. No?
You're not wrong when you say that Dead or Alive is that volleyball game. No, you're not wrong. But like, it has been a fighting game that people never take seriously, and they should not take it seriously. It's
Okay.
just that one fighting game that you do not take seriously at all and just have fun. Your definition of fun is up to you, and I do not want to know how you are having fun while you play Dead or Alive, but more power to you. Alright? You're having fun, that's all that matters. Okay? But yeah, like, Dead or Alive, in my opinion, is a fighting game that should not be taken seriously ever. It's all for the better that people make fun and jokes out of it. You know what? Like, think of it this way. Like, in some other timeline, Smash Bros. Took the whole DOA route. They never went fighting game. No, this is just a fun, balls to the wall party game, alright? Just have fun. It's broken, but it's fun. Go with it. And then Dead or Alive was the game that became, this never should have been a serious fighting game, but holy shit, it works. In some other timeline, in the multiverse, DOA is now Smash, and Smash is now DOA in terms of how the community consumes said games. But I am glad that this is the one we are in. DOA is not taken seriously, and it shouldn't be. It should be just like, have fun with it. Period. That's it. Does that mean in the timeline there's Nintendo Extreme Beach Volleyball? Yes, I am implying that, and I am sticking with that. Yes. Nintendo Smash Super Volleyball Bros Ultimate. There. So you have Super Smash Bros. That's the fighting game that they tried to package, but no one took seriously. So to cut their losses and to milk money out of it, they made the volleyball game. Super Volleyball Brothers. Yeah, there you go.
Super Volleyball Bros.
Yes, with the whole crew, not just Samus, okay? Bare-chested Mario, Luigi, Mario, and Waluigi. Them too. And Link as well. I'd made Captain Falcon in spandex. Risa, I'll throw you one better. Ganondorf in a spandex. Ganondorf. How about that?
It reminds me of the Mario and Sonic making out.
Precisely. Okay. All right. Next question. Have you decided already who is going to be your main and your pocket pick in Guilty Gear?
Oh, Guilty Gear? Right now, Faust.
Faust.
Yeah, I mean it's Faust at the moment. He has a very interesting design, you know. His paperback look really gets me.
I mean, that's the iconic thing about Faust. Like, I did in my first Guilty Gear game. I did practice biking first, but the second character I did pocket was Faust. I just found it funny that he has a fucking paper bag over his head. That is hilarious and cool at the same time.
Yeah. And for me personally, I always prefer using the goofiest, or most ridiculous looking character in games.
Well, you will definitely enjoy. You said Alisa in Tekken 7, right? Yeah, you'll enjoy her because she actually takes her head off and gives it to the opponent, and it explodes. That's her command grab. It's a really funny and really devastating move.
Yeah. And also in Smash as well. I play as Yoshi.
Oh, nice.
Because he looks cute and goofy. And also I like his voice. The queen. You know that voice. The queen. 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 Yoshi.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. And I also consider myself a very unpredictable person. A wild card in games and collaboration. And I think Faust seems to really fit in with my character.
Well, I'd say unorthodox or goofy characters definitely fit your personality. I would say, yeah, I think more so than Jin. I think Alisa is a perfect fit for you.
Nice. Teach me.
Yeah. I would say pick up Yoshimitsu because Yoshimitsu is definitely one of the wackiest characters in Tekken, but I cannot teach how to play Yoshimitsu and because Yoshimitsu is just so complicated to use. His wackiness,
I see.
and that's Yoshimitsu. I haven't even mentioned Lei, who has like 8, 9 stances, and how many moves per stance? That's a lot. How about teaching Unagi Lucky Chloe? Actually, yeah, that could work too. I could teach
and unpredictable.
I could teach you Lucky Chloe as well.
Yay!
I mean, she has one of the highest damaging combos without rage. And it's not even that execution heavy in my opinion. Okay, but who's gonna be your pocket for Guilty Gear Strive?
Okay, I did mention while we were playing Fortnite, I want to learn chip.
Chip.
But I changed my mind, you know.
Okay.
I want to try out Kai in the future just to mess up with Shika.
Wow. Okay. Fair. Here's the thing. You can learn how to Kai from Senna and Chaos. They can teach you how to play Kai.
Okay.
I recommend.
Nice.
And PK also is a Kai main.
Kai mains united. No, Shika's here.
Nope. Shika, no. Shika, you do not exist in this timeline for about 600 seconds. So that's 10 minutes. Bye-bye. Okay. Sayonara. Enjoy watching from the sidelines. That's okay. Okay. But yeah, ignore that penguin that was yelling in chat. You just ignore him.
There.
But yeah, if you want to learn how to Kai, learn from PK, Senna, and Chaos.
Okay.
As much as I want to teach you, they have more experience than I do, so you're better off learning from them. Oh, and Blue, can you fix the timeout? I did not expect that to be 600 seconds. It's 10 minutes. I thought it would be like maybe a minute or 5. Can you untime out Sheikah?
That was.
It was just a timeout. Don't worry, it's just a timeout. He's not banned. That's fine. Okay. Let's see. Next question. Do you have any concerns or fears getting into modern fighting games? I think this is an important question.
You know, to be honest, I was really afraid of the gatekeeping.
Oh dear.
It's gonna happen to me.
Oh dear. More so than gatekeeping, I think PK can back me up on this. Another thing you'll have to worry about is backseaters in your chat. Definitely another thing you'll have to worry about. Especially if you are playing Tekken. Nothing gets chat more excited than... I don't mean to be sexist, but like nothing gets chat more excited than a girl playing Tekken that doesn't, quote unquote, doesn't know what they are doing.
Oh.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
The backseaters. Oh dear.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be something you'll have to deal with. But my advice, set your foot down.
Okay.
Set your foot down. Like, yeah, just straight up, no backseating in chat.
But I allow backseating for my stream because I want to learn the game.
Okay, then you'll have to regulate what kind of backseating you will allow then.
It's pretty good so far. Nothing bad happened yet.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the reason why whenever you go live with Strive, I'm always like, well, not just me, like Blue, Sheikah, Chaos, we are also checking your chat once in a while. Because, my god, the fighting game community can be one of the worst, like, backseaters in any genre.
I see.
And yes, Risa is right to say this. Tekken backseaters can be very scary, Unagi. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, be
Thanks for the heads
be very wary. Do you have a mod? Do you have a moderator already for your channel?
Oh, yeah, I have a mod.
Good. Yeah, you better tell your mod to be very stern in particular when you're streaming Tekken.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, be very, very careful. Be very careful.
And I have this stereotype of fighting games. It's got the alpha gamers. Muscle. Machos! Fighting game not for goose! Something, something.
Not really. That's, in my opinion, that's the tamest backseater you can get.
Tamers?
Yeah, that's the
Oh
tamest
my
backseater you
God.
can get. I've heard of worse backseaters.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Tekken
Okay.
backseaters are a different breed, Unagi. So yeah, be
You
wary.
know, but,
And just
but
shrug them off, okay? They're
Okay,
just a
okay.
bunch of beta bitches, okay?
okay, beta pictures.
They're just a bunch of beta bitches, okay? They just can't handle. They can't cope with a quote unquote gamer girl getting good at Tekken. All right. So, yeah.
Okay, okay. Oh my god. And well, but I felt relief when I see players like Tia, Mariba, and PKT playing fighting games, and also Risa.
I mean, yeah, like I'm pretty sure Risa is able to make her any backseaters in her chat shut up because
She's very
Risa can
cracked.
do. Oh, cracked is an understatement. The fact that Risa can do a perfect electric. The moment I knew she could do that, and the moment she did that to me once in a match, I'm like, yep, this bear is no joke. Like, I never thought she was a joke at all. Like, people who play Tekken quite competitively and competently are already very frightening in a good way for me. But the fact that she can perfect electric blows my mind. Because it is not an easy move. Because an electric already is quite difficult to do for an average player. A perfect electric is already asking too much from an average player to do. She's a Kazuya main. Yes, but she is picking up other characters. She's trying out Geese and Akuma right now. I'm not sure who else she's trying, but she is gravitating around other characters as well.
Risa's a different monster behind the breezy voice.
Absolutely,
Probably
yeah,
one
I
of the best
agree.
players
Like,
to
I've
play.
raided and I've watched Risa stream several times. She has such a cool, gentle vibe in her voice, but
Yeah.
the moment I fight her in Tekken, I just feel
Fear.
like shivers and goosebumps because I'm like, fuck, this bear is gonna fucking murder me. Holy shit.
Like the real bears in the wall. They look cute and they can crack your head open with their paws.
And honestly, I am glad to hear. I'm pretty sure every fighting game veteran in chat are glad to hear that Unagi's fear and concerns in the fighting games are not even fighting game related. It's community related. That's a lot better. That's a good first impression. She's not worried about like fighting games being too difficult, or being too sweaty. No, she's just worried and concerned about backseating and gatekeeping, which is a valid concern, but it's not directly related to fighting games. And that is very, very good to hear. That is very good to hear. And this is coming from Unagi, who picked Guilty Gear of all games to play in the modern fighting game era. Not exactly what I would call an easy fighting game to get into. Because, I mean, Guilty Gear Strive may be the most accessible Guilty Gear title. But in my opinion, out of all the 2D fighting games, I would say perhaps Guilty Gear is the most technical. Street Fighter is just balls to the wall, very difficult. Intrinsically, it's just very difficult. It's very heavy, I think is the word I'd call it. But Guilty Gear Strive is just very, very technical.
Okay, I see.
We need more
Well,
DNF dual type fighting games in the modern times. Kusoge easy to get into theories. I agree. I highly.
Well, you say about fighting games, right? Fighting game is one of the hardest genres, I was also really afraid that I'm gonna give up really quickly after being defeated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
but
is.
the
Yeah, that's definitely one of the most common occurrences.
yeah, and the fear of failing is also one of the reasons why I haven't started playing fighting games until recently.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but surprisingly, the satisfaction, of successfully landing a combo, uh, um, really overcomes my
I mean,
fear of failing or getting beaten up by other players.
your reaction, what you said just now, is exactly what Maximilian Dude wanted the community to accept. Everyone or someone should be able to enjoy. Someone should just be able to pick up a fighting game, turn it on, and feel happy that they can pull off a combo. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. For the sole
Yes.
purpose of being able to do something flashy and quote unquote inefficient as a flashy combo. They should be able to do that and not feel bad for doing it. They should be able to enjoy it. And I honestly think that is honestly, I think, the problem with the fighting game community. Because if they saw the type of combos that I have done, they'll be like, oh my god, that combo is so inefficient. Do you think I give a shit that it's inefficient? It's a combo that I made that I genuinely enjoy doing.
Yeah.
It's just fun to do and fun to look at. What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah. It looks flashy. It looks pretty. Yeah, it does felt really nice to land a combo, especially as a newcomer like me.
What I can't wait to see though, Nagi, is when you try to make your own combo just by raw knowledge. Because I had that moment in DNF Duel recently when I made a Touch of Death combo specifically for Kunoichi. I nearly pulled it off against Blue. Nearly, just nearly. But I panicked, and I dropped the final part. But I still won that round, I think. But what matters is that, oh my god, I nearly pulled that combo off that I made. It just felt so good to do. Like, it's one of the best feelings you'll ever get in a fighting game. So I really look forward to seeing you pull off your very first, like, hey chat, you see that combo I just did? I did that. I made that shit. It's honestly
Are
one
you
of the
proud of me?
it's one of the best feelings in the world, and honestly, words will not be able to properly describe it. But you'll know just how exhilarating it's gonna be when you pull it off. Like, it's one thing to watch YouTube videos or in-game guides on how to do certain combos, but it's something else when you formulate in your head. Like, wait, if this move does this, and it follows up after this move, doesn't that mean I have enough time to link up this move? Yeah, those kinds of that kind of thought process that goes into your head, and then when the game rewards you by saying, yeah, you just did the combo based on a theory, it feels so good. And I really can't wait for you to do that, because when you do, Unagi, you will finally understand what I
Fighting
and
game.
all of our mutual fighting game streamers and communities say, that fighting games is one of the best genres in video games ever.
Can't wait for that day.
Because
arrive.
I'll use a very simple example. We already know the feeling of our very first Crown Royale, or even a very clutch victory royale in Fortnite. Trust me, that does not come close to theory crafting a combo and actually being able to pull it off. It's a different feeling. You feel like a god when you pull it off. Trust me. You'll know what it's like when it finally hits you.
Okay.
All right. We're next question. What are your current criticisms about fighting games in general?
Okay. Huh. I think it's the lack of transparency of the tactics involved.
Lack of transparency?
You know, okay, how do I put this? Okay, I think one of the problem is just how far away casual players are from the real professional players.
Oh, the skill ceiling versus the skill floor issue.
Yeah. And okay, so we play the same game, right? In reality, but there's a lot of calculations involved.
Yeah. Well, not just that, Unagi, but also most veterans in a fighting game don't just play one fighting game. A lot of fighting games that they play, others, they learn stuff that can be applied. And I think anyone who's faced me in 2D fighting games will pick this up. My defense is very Tekken-like. Because I've played Tekken more than any fighting game I've played. But in every fighting game I play, I bring my Tekken defense and offense into it. I just do.
And so all these calculation, right? All of this is hidden until you really get yourself into the rabbit hole of fighting.
Oh yeah. It's really gonna take some time for the whole the whole thought process to get drilled into your head. But if there's one thing that I think games should do that DNF Duel, I mean, this Shrine Talk is slowly becoming a promotion for DNF Duel, but fuck it, this will be. If there's one thing that DNF Duel does, is that straight up, when you try to do the trials or tutorials for every character, it gives you a basic, easy to understand list of like, what does this character do best? Like,
exactly.
like you look up Striker, you're like, everyone in this game has a weapon, but Striker has only her fists and her feet. So what can she do? And literally it says there, she can hit opponents normally after blocking when normally others wouldn't. So you're like,
yeah.
wait, so that means that I can keep attacking with this character more so than the rest of the cast. And then another description for Striker is that she has moves that link into each other for hard hitting combos. So you're like, oh, so this character attacks like really fast at a rhythm. It's kind of like that. I honestly think more fighting games should be able to describe what a character has, in terms of like their trait and their overall playstyle. So, like, if I were, I know it's difficult, and I'm not saying Guilty Gear doesn't do it, but like, Guilty Gear does it in a way that only
nobody notices it.
No, not nobody notices it, but like, only the ones who have played fighting games and Guilty Gear games will understand what it means. Like, if you read Ino's description, her aerial attacks are it's not verbatim, but like, her aerial attacks are overbearing, whatnot, blah 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 blah. Only people like me and our other mutuals who have played Guilty Gear know what that means. That basically means that Ino's dash, which is an air dash, a special air dash, because Ino doesn't dash like every other character. When she dashes, she goes in the air, which means that she can instantly do an overhead attack on you really fast. That's the definition. But if they just straight up said in her description, like, this character's this character has a special dash that puts her in the air, leading to near instant overhead attacks. That's very simple to understand.
Yes.
Now, of course, like, for any veteran of Guilty Gear, they might say, oh my god, they're pandering to newcomers and noobs. I'm just like, don't you want more people to play your video game, your fighting game in particular? Do you know hard it is to get even 100,000 people to buy the game, to buy a fighting game. You know how difficult that is. When Arxis celebrated 500,000 sales, a lot of people treated it like it sold 2 million copies because it's that huge. It is that huge, and that was within the first month or first 2 weeks of its release. That was such a fast, like, milestone that big for a fighting game. That's how crappy the standards are for sales when it comes to fighting games.
No. And in every other game, right, you can see every click. You know, when you observe other people play, you know, they are picking up this weapon, they switch to this weapon, and they just shoot enemies in the head, and then they throw a grenade, something like that. And nothing is hidden from the observer.
Yeah,
or in the eyes of a fighting game beginner like me, or just people that are new to gaming in general. What we see is just, okay, for fighting games, what we see is just, okay, this person on the left jumps on the person on the right, and the other person beats them down and randomly won. It doesn't make sense at all.
Yep,
We don't understand.
It's ironic. It's one of the more exciting quote-unquote esports games to watch, but it's also the hardest to understand.
Yeah.
And then you have the complete opposite end of that stick. You have games, you have MOBA games like Dota and LoL. There is so much information that you are aware of that you cannot keep up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, this Lee Sin just did that and that so that it combos into the Yasuo, and I'm like, whoa, that's so many mechanics, and that's only on one team. How about the other side? Like, okay, like their AD carry is about to die, so the support like, oh my god, that's so much information. But in fighting games, there's just as much information, but it's not like blown up in your face. As you say, it's kind of hidden. So it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. But in my opinion, it's more of a good thing because this information, not to say that it's irrelevant, but it is not necessary for it to be like shown in a very obvious manner. Because you want people to focus on the fight itself and not the mechanics that are happening behind the fight. But that's just my opinion. I guess a good middle ground is that there has to be good visual or audio. No, not tutorials. There have to be good visual or audio cues for special stuff happening in a fighting game. And surprise, surprise, DNF Duel does this really well. Whenever a character does the mana special or the mana DP, it's very obvious when they do it. It's very obvious because there's like a spark and you can see the mana bar go down. Like, oh, that's the
special.
That's the special that costs mana.
And the fighting games just seem to expect players to already know how to play the game really well.
Yeah, and
you know, the first of all being the punch slash kick, the letters. The game just assumes I know those letters.
It also doesn't help. It also doesn't help that fighting game language is not universal.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But it's both its strength and its weakness because it gives every fighting game an identity, but it gives it makes it harder for people to jump from one fighting game to another. Because like think of it this way, if you play one shooter, you can play all shooters. I'm very confident in what I just said. If you play just Valorant, for example, because it's free, you can play any other game that has a gun in it as its main mechanic. You can play Fortnite, you can play Apex Legends, you can play Rainbow Six Siege competently. If you know how to play one, you can play the rest. In fighting games though, big difference. in Street Fighter, you normally have 6 attack buttons. 6. You have light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick. Tekken has 4. Left punch, right punch, left kick, right kick. And then you have the funny Guilty Gear terms. You have punch, kick, slash, heavy slash, dust. I'm like, what? The first time I played Guilty Gear, I'm like, punch, kick, okay, I get that, slash, huh? Heavy slash, okay, dust. What? How did it get from slash to heavy slash to dust? Why is it called dust? Doesn't
You know, I need someone in the chat to really explain to me what those letters mean.
Like, I agree with Blue. Like, I love how it's called dust. I'm like, how many moves actually throw out dust in a move, in an input that's called dust? Not one! Not one! Like, Giovanna's dust moves. It's just a meaty kick or the criminal button Ray kick. But none of them actually are related to dust. I just don't get it. But yeah, you see, the language of each fighting game is not 100% compatible to another. You have rare times when they are. Like, you think, my best example for this one is Street Fighter and Skullgirls. Because they have practically the same system. They have 6 attack buttons: light, medium, heavy, punch, and kick. That's 6 buttons. And their input system is practically the same. There are quarter circles, there are half circles, there are DP inputs, there are charge inputs, there are full circle inputs, the whole shebang. It's practically just Street Fighter but girls. But yeah, that's just one of the few times when a game translates very well to another. But for other games, not exactly. Even those that are in the same subgenre. Like, you have the big trio of 2D fighting games right now. You have Street Fighter, Guilty Gear,
Tekken.
and KOF. No, Tekken is... KOF is... Tekken is considered 2.5 3D. Or 3D, borderline 3D. Because you're sidestepping. But for the trio of 2Ds, the big 3 right now is KOF, Street Fighter, and Guilty Gear. One day, one of them's gonna be replaced by DNF Duel. Mark my words. And no Marvel vs. Capcom because MVCI is bullshit. It's not even fun. Anyway. So yeah, even those 3 games don't directly translate. Because in Guilty Gear, you can block in the air. Not in Street Fighter or in KOF. In KOF, you pick 3 characters, not 1. In Guilty Gear and Street Fighter, you just pick 1 and then you play a couple of rounds. In Street Fighter, or at least generally in Street Fighter, your super bar carries over to the next round. Not in Guilty Gear. Not in Guilty Gear.
Okay.
Guilty Gear has an oh shit button, which is the burst. So if you don't want to get comboed to death, you use the burst. Yeah, burst. Street Fighter and KOF do not have the burst. So again, you can already see like the conflicting systems. Like, for someone who's played Guilty Gear, when they go to DNF, Street Fighter, KOF, they're like, shit, where's my burst button? Oh wait, this game doesn't have one.
It's very confusing.
When a Street Fighter character tries to punch someone out of the air in Guilty Gear, wait, you can block in the air? What? So yeah, like, so yeah, you have that difference that is also a big gate and hurdle that a lot of people who want to try fighting games have to deal with.
And also for learning combos and movements. You know, in other games, you just know, okay, I just move up, down, left, right, and A, B, X, Y for certain moves, and that's it. And for fighting games, there is no way the game will tell me how to get the timing right, or how to move my thumb to get the precise direction for that particular combo.
Yeah.
I had to do it countless times to figure out the timing and the movements myself. And and I also have to do a lot of awkward and unnatural gestures with the stick, like, you know, as you mentioned, the quarter circle forward, and yeah, the bottom to forward. I don't know.
No, I'm not defending fighting games here, but I will say that there is a reason why it is like that. I wish it were done in a better way. Don't get me wrong. I agree with Unagi here. Fighting games moving forward have to be able to educate better their combo system. They should be able to educate better, but there is a reason why it's not precisely easy to pick up, because it is the game's way of telling you the nature of fighting games. There is a lot of trial and error in fighting games. You have to commit many mistakes so that you learn what to do and what not to do. So
It's just like learning martial arts in real life. We have to do empty punches. Move your
in a
hands
sense,
before you actually go
even
into combat.
even in swordsmanship class, we learned the do's and don'ts, not just the do's. Like, we were taught why swinging this or why this sword move is not really good. And like, they had us try it so that we know, like, oh yeah, it does feel weird, or like, oh yeah, it leaves me very open. Yeah, that's not good. So it, again, I'm not defending fighting games here. I'm just telling you though that it is the game's way of telling you that there is trial and error. And I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but like, I will say it's sort of like a check, a patience check. Fighting games is definitely not for everyone, and it should not be for everyone. There's a big difference between people should be able to try it, but it should not be designed for everyone. Nothing should be designed or made for everyone. Movies, video games, music, etc. No, you do not design that for everyone. Because guess what? Nothing will get done. Like, hell, Fortnite wouldn't even be made if it was made for everyone. You know why? It has guns, too violent. Mortal Kombat, it has blood, too violent. Fighting games, you're hitting a woman, that's too violent. No. So nothing will get done if everything is designed for everyone.
Yeah.
But
Totally
like,
agree
fighting
on that.
games should not be designed for everyone. But again, this is a very complicated problem, but it is something that should be addressed. No game, even fighting games, should be designed for everyone, but everyone should be able to give it a
Enjoy.
try and enjoy it. Every game should be like that. Not designed for everyone, but everyone should be able to enjoy it. I know it's kind of paradoxical. Like, how can you make something that is not for everyone, but everyone enjoys it? I mean, I don't know. Look at just about every critically acclaimed game out there. I mean, just
Fortnite.
the easiest, Fortnite for sure. Look, what do I mean by it's not designed for everyone? It's a first-person shooter. Not many people want to go through the hassle of aiming and clicking on targets. It's too tough for them. But it's still fun even if you can't do that. Fighting games, not designed for quote-unquote casual gamers. I hate the term. But quote-unquote casual gamers. It's not made for casual gamers, quote-unquote casual gamers. But anyone who plays a fighting game should be able to have fun. And I think that is doable. I honestly think that's doable. I mean, I think we have our perfect example here with Unagi. Like, sure, she has had experience back then, but she's into modern fighting games, and so far, she's having fun.
Yes.
And definitely, yeah, moving forward, fighting games should not really focus too much on one side of the same coin. They should not focus solely on the casuals. They should not focus solely on the professionals either. There has to be a good middle ground.
Balance.
And in my opinion, if it's not Street Fighter 6 that's going to show how it's done, if it's not DNF Duel who's going to show how it's done, it's probably going to be Riot's Project L that's going to show how it's done. Because the design philosophy, as I mentioned earlier, this is practically verbatim from the developers themselves. They said that this game is about unlocking fun at all levels. Just thinking about that already gives me, yeah, not, I mean, yes, all games, but especially fighting games. Now again, those are just words. We haven't played it, we haven't seen any definitive gameplay footage or tests, so only time
promising.
will. It is promising. Time will tell. But until then, it's just words. But these are very refreshing words to hear. These are very refreshing words to hear. All right. Penultimate question, second to the last. What are your thoughts on the overall fighting game community, Unagi?
Okay, so I have pretty pleasant experience with the community so far.
Thank God.
Yeah. The people are nice and welcoming and very patient to teach a newcomer like me the simplest thing, you know. Yeah, maybe it depends on the people I met, you know. I don't know. Yeah, and for an example, there was this random viewer who taught me things like, okay, for the sticks, instead of moving around the corners, try to flicking it outwards. You know, something like this. They really took their time to, you know, to fix, okay, quote unquote, fix my inputs. And when they need to go or they're gonna learn, they will say things like, okay, I gotta go. I'll pass the teaching to another viewer and then mention the name and have fun learning, Unagi. That's it. It felt really refreshing.
That is very wholesome. That is very nice.
It's very nice. And I know you guys did mention about the backseating problem with fighting games.
Yep.
I haven't seen that so far, maybe because I'm still new to the community.
Probably.
And I'm still new to the game in general. So I just take everything as, okay, education, knowledge. I haven't really considered them as backseat gaming yet. And from a perspective of a newcomer in this community, I got a lot of words of encouragement.
Good.
Yeah, from you guys, Inari, Blue, Chaos, Shika, PK.
I mean, because like, whenever we hear someone say, I want to try fighting games, we immediately jump on that opportunity to protect them from the most toxic members of the fighting game community. Do you know how hard it is to find someone who genuinely wants to try fighting games? It's so difficult. So
I get it.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it felt like the community, okay, at least the ones I know so far, really treats newcomers like a baby.
Yeah.
Too nice. And it's almost like a bunch of parents teaching a baby how to walk, you know. When the baby slip or fell down, then they'll go like, oh no, it's okay. Try again slowly. Okay, move your left feet first, and then your right feet. Yeah. Be patient. Yeah, take your time. It's okay. It's really fine. And then when the baby walk on their first step, they go oh yeah, good job. I told you can do it. We are so proud of you. Yay! And then give you a candy. It feels so refreshing to meet a bunch of people like that.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
god.
as one advice I will tell you that's very helpful for all fighting games. Just remember this thing that I learned in swordsmanship class, and I apply it in every video game I ever played. Just remember this line: slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
What does that mean?
Okay.
When you are having difficulty doing something in a game, and let's use the context of fighting games. Let's say you are having difficulty doing a combo. Try to do it step by step first. Like, instead of like saying, damn it, I'm not being fast enough. No. You don't know if you're being too fast or too slow. But how about you focus on being able to do it properly? Because you're like, man, I cannot seem to do Bandit Revolver right after 5K. So you're like, how about you try doing Bandit Revolver over and over and over again? So that you know what it feels like to do Bandit Revolver. And if you're having difficulty doing that one move, do it slowly. And then you try to make it fast. So, sort of in your head or on screen, what it's gonna look like is basically like, let's say you do with, you were doing the tutorials with Soul, right? So let's say the game wants you to connect 5K, 2K 2D into
Bandit
DP.
Revolver?
No,
okay.
to Volcanic Viper. Okay? So if you cannot even get that right, do it very slowly, even if it means dropping it. So 2K, 2D, Volcanic Viper, even if it's not a combo, you just need to know that you can pull off each move individually, properly.
That's what Blue told me.
And then you
the
do
other
it,
day.
then you speed it up ever so slightly until it feels smooth. And then when you can smoothly do it, that is when you ramp up the speed a lot faster. It's not...
Yes.
And even, like, a lot of people misunderstand one of the best, flashiest, but most difficult moves to pull off in Tekken, which is, you guessed it, an electric. A lot of people think that it's about being fast. No, it's not. And it's not even coming from me. This is coming from
Lisa?
Main Man Sui. The Main Man Sui. The main man. He is a very known Kazuya player.
Ah.
Like, he can, in his prime, he could do like, what, 6, 8 perfect electric Wind God Fists in a row. That's insane. But he always said it's not speed, it's precision. And he showed it. He showed it. He delayed the down forward input so long. But the moment he did the input and triangle or 2 at the same time, it still came out. So again, he proved a point. It's not about speed, it's about precision. If you cannot do a move slowly, you are not gonna do the move fast. So how about you start by doing the move slowly?
Slowly.
That's why slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Slow is smooth.
Smooth is fast. If you cannot do a combo at the speed that the game expects you to do it very slowly first. And then you move from 30% speed to like 40, 50. Just gradually increase it and then you'll get it.
Nice.
Alright.
And because of you guys for being so patient, having community like this really motivates me to keep going, even though the process is really tough.
It is.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm glad I met you guys,
Well, we are in turn glad that we met you, and we're so glad that you are getting into fighting games.
Yay!
Alright. So, final question. Very, very important question.
Yes!
Would you recommend fighting games to others?
Absolutely!
There you go. Chat, Foxtrots,
Absolutely!
Mutuals. You heard it from a newcomer herself. She would recommend fighting games to others.
Yeah! I I can't explain why.
I mean,
know.
we talked about why throughout the whole talk, but yes.
Memorizing long button inputs sucks, okay? And the timing too, I understand. But it's gonna worth it, okay? To anyone who's wanna try it, it's gonna worth it, okay? The satisfaction of, learning new moves and also successfully executing it feels really, really good. Yeah. And it also teaches you how to handle conflict and defeat during the process.
Oh, yes.
You just need to have the correct or the right mindset to get into fighting games.
Yes, that is very
Do
correct.
your best to enjoy the game. Okay? Don't stress too much on winning.
And actually,
Enjoy
in my
the
opinion,
game.
fighting games also teaches you that losing is not always a bad thing.
Yeah, you get something from losing.
If you learn something from your loss, it's not a complete loss then.
Yes.
Sometimes
And also,
losing sometimes losing is a good sign that, oh my god, that means that I can still get better.
yeah, you understood what you did. You know, at least you get to understand the things, the errors you made when you lose.
Oh,
you know?
hell yes.
And also, most importantly, don't be afraid to ask any questions.
Oh,
Even though you
yes.
think they are very simple, or even though you think that, oh, that's a very dumb question to ask anyone,
Yep.
just give it out a try, okay? Just ask. You wouldn't know, you wouldn't learn anything without asking, you know? At least you try to ask. People will try to help you.
Like,
Just
yes,
ask for
the
help.
fighting game community does get flack for being very toxic and being very gatekeepy, but not all of us are like that. We
Yeah, right.
exist. The ones who want you to genuinely enjoy fighting games, we exist. We are trying our best to multiply in numbers.
I really recommend everyone to give out a try. Join me.
Yes.
Join me.
Alright, and that is it for this episode of Shrine Talk. Thank you so much, Foxtrots and our mutuals who have tuned in on this episode. And of course, a special thank you to our guest, UnagiAgi.
Likewise.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
And of course, if you don't want to miss out the next time she streams fighting games or whatever, I already gave her a shout out. Please do follow her. Check out her channel. She is great. She is wholesome, and she will also murder you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Before I end the stream, as I always do in every episode of Shrine Talk, I will give
Yes.
my guest the red carpet. Feel free to give a shout out or tell the chat when your next stream is or what your next big plans are, etc., etc.
Okay.
The red carpet is yours.
Okay. Hi chat. I'm UnagiAgi from Malaysia. Okay. I speak English, Chinese, Malay, and I do understand Korean and Japanese. Just a little bit. Just
朋友是个
50%。
坚韧不拔的纪录片。
朋友是一个坚韧不拔的纪录片。I am a variety streamer slash VTuber, and I stream every day, almost every day. And I play Fortnite every day. And as for tomorrow, there will be an art stream. I'll be modeling the great Kaiman Shika _Shika on V-Roy. And I will be playing more Fortnite afterwards. Hope to see you guys there. And I am very active on Twitter as well. So feel free to DM for any questions or any future collabs. I am still new to this community, so treat me nice. Okay, be kind to me. Alright, that's all.
Yes, be kind to her or else she will cut your subscription to life.
There will be consequences.
There'll be consequences.
There will be consequences.
Alright, that has been UnagiAgi, and of course, yours truly, the host. of Shrine Talk in Arioko. Thank you so much for tuning in. Otsuyoko deshita. Watashi no haishin ni kitakurete hontou ni koei desu. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you.
Good evening,
Thank
good night,
you
and have a
all.
good day. My precious fox, my precious foxtrots, and of course our mutuals in our other channels. I will see you all tomorrow also for my respective stream. It will start maybe around afternoon. Let's see. Who was I planning to raid today?
Raid.
Yeah, don't worry. We're still gonna raid. Hang on. I will I think I already brought out the channel I was gonna raid because this streamer hasn't streamed for a long time, but they've been part of like this tiny community of VTubers when we started. Basically he has been part of the small circle of streamers of me. I'm gonna give out a shout out Kai Kahana and Mariva. Yep, the four of us have been part of a small VTuber community. So it's been a while since I've seen her. Seen him online. So we are going. Oh. Wait. They're not. I don't think they are ending yet. So I'm gonna make sure that I get my raid in before they end. There is the raid message, Foxtrots. Hang on, let me get the raid started. And uh-oh. Okay, there you go. Sorry, I accidentally unmuted the stream manager page. Okay, raid is starting. Oh shit. Open it again just so that I'm ready. Okay, there is the raid message, Foxtrots. I'll see you all on his channel in a bit. Behave yourselves,
Bye-bye.
and I will see you all tomorrow. And as Unagi mentioned, she also has a stream tomorrow, so tune in on that stream as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And raid Shadow Legends now.
Raid Shadow Legends.